Let's get into the electric guitar solos on Maggie May. Now, you've heard this song on the radio and enters this sort of almost tubby, fat, clean sounding like jazz style guitar, right? So the closest thing we have here in the studio is this neat Gretsch semi-hollow guitar. Now really any type of electric guitar is fine here. You're just going to want to be sort of on whatever the neck pickup is. And it sounds to me like it might have been like a Gibson, 335 or something, which is very similar to this guitar. So the material that he's playing is based quite a bit on a D major pentatonic sliding scale. So the first figure is this. So that's just a quick slide with the third finger from the 7th fret of the A string up to the 9th fret, and then grabbing that 7th fret of the D string with your first finger. So that's just part of that D major pentatonic sliding scale built in right there. And then there's this quick little sort of jazz lick. Now that's just a quick, you play one downstroke, third finger on the 7th fret, and do a quick slide up and slide down, then pull off. Like so. That's in slow motion. And then immediately play that low 7th fret. So the first measure goes 1. Like so. The trickiest part about this solo is the timing. It's very kind of free in the timing, and there's variations on this same type of lick throughout. So that's the first one. 1. Boom, 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 boom. And then the next one starts the same. And this time does that variation on the second lick. So that's just a quick slide up, and then back down to the 7th fret, and then down those notes of a D major pentatonic. And then we have this lick. Okay? Pretty darn simple. Moving forward, another version of this, that same lick we did in the first measure, and this happens on the second beat, so it's 1 and wrapping with those notes of a D major pentatonic. Moving forward, we have another variation on this same material moving forward. But this time it's a slightly different rhythm. It's that last note comes in a little bit quicker, and he's just kind of, riffing with this kind of like jazz attitude. Very difficult to describe, out of context. Once we get with the metronome, you're going to hear it exact. And then we wrap up with these two measures. So that's the first one. Barring the 7th fret partially with your first finger. So 7th fret of the G string, then the D string, and then a quick little hammer on, a double stop here with your first finger barring the A and the D strings. And then it immediately hammers on the third finger with the D string ringing. So you have that effect of the double stop. And then sliding down, playing those two notes. And then this little figure. It's just a quick little whole step bend and then releasing down to that 5th fret. And then we slide up the scale doing this. So that's just sliding up the same slide we did before. And then 3rd finger up here on the 9th fret of the G string. It's an octave higher than that one down there. So let's go ahead and play this entire first guitar solo with the metronome, slightly slower than performance tempo, and you'll hear this timing a little bit more in context. 1, 2, ready, go. Moving on, we have this one. So same start, but this time instead of a slide up to finish it, we slide back down. And play those notes. Pretty even timing there. And then moving on, we've got... Okay, we played a version of that lick already as well. This time it's just incorporating a double stop. Like so. And then moving on, we're going up the scale, those 2 notes, and the next measure is... And this has a little bit of a tricky timing. Again, you'll hear it in better context with the metronome, but it's... That's your lick. Simple material, slightly tricky timing, right? And then moving on, we've got this one. Okay, and that's almost exactly what we played down here an octave higher. So this time sliding up with the 3rd finger from the 9th to the 11th fret on the G string. It's not as quick like this time, it's like so. Very subtle variation. And then that 10th fret of the B string, and then we shift back to this position quickly to go a whole step bend. And then back to the note fretted, down those notes of the D major pentatonic. And then the next measure, just a straighter version of that same lick. And then we wrap up this set of ideas with this one. Okay, just riffing on those same notes. It's a pre-bend and a release down to that 7th fret, and then a pull-off of those notes there, and then just like so, pretty basic. And then we've got this little figure to bring us around to the second half of the solo. Okay, just typical rock major pentatonic stuff. A double stop, hammer on, and then a quick slide down there to the root note. Next lick kind of begins sort of like the intro, a little bit straighter. A 1. Pretty straightforward there. The next one is a little variation of that same thing. Okay, so the only difference here is the up slide is quicker, kind of like the original figure. And then we get right to those 2 notes. So we can do this. So it's a quick slide down and then a quick pull off, all in one shot there. So we can play those notes. And that's where we land on that lick. And then we're getting on to the home stretch here. This next figure goes on for 2 measures, and it sounds like this. So kind of just taking the same themes and stretching them out a little bit. So starting with the slide, and then this note twice, up the scale, to the root note, right back down to that previous note, and now a whole step bend on the 9th fret of the G string. 2 in a row, like a full step bend, then another one, and then you release it, and then down to that root note. Repeat those notes, repeat them again. So in context, And then moving on, we've got this one. We've done that lick before, sliding up in that shape, and then that quick little triplet figure. So 1, like so. And then we wrap up with this almost like country kind of lick. Okay, so that's... And then the mandolins enter at this point, and we're at the outro of the song, but this lead guitar trails off with a couple neat little trail off figures. The first one is... So sliding up into that D chord way up here with your first finger on the 10th fret, so it's like an F chord shape, but on a D. Using your second finger to slide and your first finger to do the partial bar. Then working your way back down. Quick slide down, and then a whole step bend, landing back on the tonic note, and then wrapping up with this little figure. Alright. So some pretty standard lead guitar stuff in there with just a little bit of a free-form kind of phrasing. So let's go ahead and try this, and you'll hear it a little bit better in context this way. This entire second solo with the metronome at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a great lesson in how to take one little figure and develop it into an entire solo. This player on this session did that through 2 solos, one of them developing it slightly and the next one developing it even more. So you've learned one really cool lick and how it evolves into lots of other cool ideas. And go ahead and try this along with the full band now. Just give it your best shot. You know, try to lock yourself into that phrasing and pick up these ideas and run with them and incorporate them into your own style. Okay, let's go ahead and practice these guitar solos along with the full band.
That's all for this session. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell for more lessons in the future. Make sure you check out the other lessons on our channel, and don't forget to head over to TrueFire.com for the full experience. We have synchronized tabs, jam tracks, and a massive library of courses covering all topics a guitarist could ever want to learn. Until next time.